Hi everyone. I'm very happy to be here and very excited actually. And I want to start with a story. I saw some hands when Stan asked if you're struggling in the App Store. So I want to start with a story. So you developed the best game ever. You put the time on it. You didn't sleep. You did it after work hours. You didn't watch Netflix or played your favorite game console, and you believe you have the best product, the best game. Your friends tell you it's amazing, your family also, but you released it, and then what happened? You get one download from there, 10 more downloads from the Facebook, 100 downloads from another PR article that someone did on you. But you feel that your game has a huge potential, but it's stuck. How many of you feel that they can relate to this story? Okay, thanks for saving me. Today I'm gonna talk exactly about this because there are hundreds of games on the App Store, there are hundreds of developers, and sometimes you feel that it's really hard to shine. So I'm going to talk about 3 ways to get noticed on the App Store. I chose this topic because as a publishing manager, I'm talking with a lot of developers, and I'm asking them, okay, what are you looking for in a publisher? Many of the answers that I get are, we are looking for marketing help, for user acquisition help, for help to get ourselves noticed on the App Store, because we can't reach to enough audience, and we think our game is really, really good. So I decided to combine both of my expertise into this presentation. So I'm Keren. I've been working in TabTale for the past 4 years. I started as up until recently, I was the ASO manager and marketing operations. And a few months ago, I moved to another position in TabTale. I moved to be a publishing business development manager. So I decided to combine both of these fields to one presentation to help you get more insights about these fields, because they are really related to each other. So, but who is TabTale? So how many of you know TabTale? Great. So TabTale just reached 2 billion downloads. That's amazing. We started the co-founder started the company at 2010. So we have more than 8 years of experience in developing apps. We started as a kids gaming company, and this was supposed to be a video which you were supposed to see our games, but I'll tell you which games we have. So we started as a kids game company. We did interactive books on mobile, and then we understood that our games in the interactive books are really successful. So we made more and more games, and we now have more than 400 games on the App Store. That's an amazing number, and this is how we reach 2 billion downloads. So in the past 2 years, we've been focusing on hyper-casual games, and I will tell you more about hyper-casual later. So as an ASO manager, I've been responsible for hundreds of apps, and everything I'm going to tell you today is from my experience on promoting and doing ASO on this app, and combining it with my talks with developers, that even one of them is here, Eugene. One of our developers is here, and I'm very excited to see you here. So today we're gonna talk about ASO, and I wanna put more focus on how to start, because you can read a lot of information online, and you can see a lot of webinars, but the hardest thing is always to start. So I'm gonna talk about this. I'm gonna talk about key elements in the App Store optimization, because ASO is really a huge subject. We can talk about ASO for a week because it's actually affecting everything in your app. So we'll focus on key elements, and later, if you have any questions, feel free to approach, ask me anything. I'll be happy to advise. Next, we'll talk about feature games, and in the end, I will tell you about publishing and about what I do. So, as I said, there are millions of games in the App Store, and the App Store is just growing and growing. There are more games, there are more downloads, that's a good thing, but there are more developers. It makes it hard to shine. But it's actually also a good thing, because we are seeing more and more innovative games, interesting games that we didn't see before. So it's not only bad thing, it's also good that the App Store is keep growing, but it makes it harder to be at the top. So how do users find apps? Let's start with this. Do you have any idea? Search App Store, right. What about you guys? How do users find apps? Google search, right. Anyone else? Facebook, right. Definitely, as you can see here, you're right, featured. So there are a lot of ways to find apps and games on the App Store. And users find it on the top charts on search when some girl wants to download a girls game. So she will search girls game and she will find our game. Feature games, as you mentioned, the App Store is suggesting us great games that the editorial team pick for us. And friends, your friend played the best game ever. He played 242, and then he will say his friend, yes, download 242, right? So PR from websites, from YouTubers, from ads, from browsers. People are browsing through the App Store, searching through the categories. If some lady from the US wants to download some word game, she will go into the word category and download a game that she likes. And influencers, of course. So I looked into our data and tried to understand how users find our apps. And I saw that it's really different from one game to another, and it depends on a lot of things. For example, how many efforts did we invest in user acquisition? How many efforts did we invest in PR? How did we invest in ASO? So it's really different from one app to another, and you need to choose the right strategy for your app. You can also see it on the App Store Connect, for those of you who develop iOS apps, and you can see it on the Google Play console. They added really cool thing, which you can see how users got to your app organically. You can see the terms that the users search and understand how they got to find your app. That's really good thing. So let's get back to our presentation. How can you get noticed? What is ASO? Do you know what is ASO, guys? Right. What does it mean? It's just like a long definition. Yes. Yes, usually when I ask this question, people say keywords. That's the first thing, and many of the developers are thinking that ASO is only keywords. But ASO is App Store optimization, and it's the process of making your game, your app, more visible on the app stores, and then to get you more downloads, and in the end, get more revenue. So how can you do that besides keywords, screenshots? Right, icon is very, very important, and I will mention it later. So keywords. marketing assets, icons, screenshots. And we have a lot of things. I didn't even mention everything, but we have a lot of things that affecting your ranks on the App Store. Rating and reviews. If user will see that your app rating is 4.9, there is more chance that the user will download your game, and then you get more downloads, and more downloads improving your rank on the store. So the algorithm on Apple is really interesting, and I mentioned localization, because if you add marketing localization or in-game localization, it can help you get more downloads and get more users from around the world that will help you improve your ranks. User experience. If your user experience in your game won't be that good, people will not download the game, and then your rank will drop. So ASO is really related to a lot of aspects in your game, but we will focus about key elements today. I will mention them later. So how to start? So the first thing, in my opinion, is diagnosis. To try and understand what you can improve in your store asset. Yeah, did you like it? So here you can see that after the second read, you understand that there is something wrong with the first line. So sometimes it's hard to detect what you can improve, but you need to check your data and the analytics behind the funnel of the users, that where does the drop happen. Maybe users are not downloading your game after they see the user acquisition video. Try to understand and to estimate what do you need, what can you improve, and then check it. What do I mean by check? By check, I mean, like, for example, you detected that your icon is not that good. You showed the game to some friends, and they told you, oh, what is the game about? And you decided to check your icon. So the next thing that you need to do is to test it. On the Google Play console, you have a great tool. It actually changed the life of people that are doing ASO, because you have a really good tool that can help you check your icon and what works better. After you checked your icon and find a winner, you find another icon that works better, you should monitor the changes, because maybe something happened during this time. Maybe you test the icon through the Christmas period, and you have a great Christmas icon, but in a few months, when it won't be winter anymore, your icon won't be relevant. So you need to keep and monitor your changes, and then come back again, check it again, check if your icon relevant, do another A/B testing. We are doing more and more tests every few weeks and few months to check if we find a better icon. So I want to show you an example. For example, our app Run Sausage Run. How many of you know this game? Great. So it's a great game that reached to more than 60 million downloads, and these are actually the first sketches of the icon. Then our amazing graphic designers did these 4 options, and we tested them on the A/B testing, on the Google Play console A/B testing. And who's guessing what one? Do you know? The first one, because that's what you know in the right. But no, the third one actually won, and we switched it to Easter when it was Easter. But later, after a few months, we checked the icon again, and we found out that the first one, those of you who said the first one, we found out that this one, number C, works better than what we had, and we thought that this icon is amazing, but we found out that the users really prefer the other one. So we are keep testing and testing the icon, and looking for the best one. So one more thing about ASO is that it is really depends on the App Store algorithm, because Google and Apple has an algorithm, but they can change it any day. They can decide that a crash rate is really important, and that's, for example, what happened a few months ago. If you know, if you heard about it, I actually saw that some of our downloads are dropping, some of our downloads are increasing, and the fact that we have 400 games helps us to understand better what happened, because we have more variety of apps and of games, and we can understand what happened because we can compare them. So I compared the ones that were decreasing and the ones that were increasing, and I noticed that actually the one with the high crash rate really lost the ranks on the App Store. And after that, I saw it on the blogs and on the Slack groups that yes, Google probably changed the algorithm. So it's not only depends on you. How will you be ranked? It also depends on the different store, but you have to be prepared for it. And if you are detecting that something happened, I recommend to be on the ASO forums. There is one great Slack group that those of you who doesn't know this group, let me know and I will connect it to you. And it really helps to understand what happened, and this way to fix the problem in your app and improving your rank. So I want to talk about the key elements, in my opinion, in ASO. So icons is the first thing that users see when you reach to your App Store page. These are some great icons that we have, and in my opinion, a good icon is one that tells a story. For example, there is some story here. It's funny. It's catching the eye. It makes some reaction in the user, so the user will want to download the game. I think everything in our world today is about story and storytelling, so you should implement it also in your icon. Show the gameplay. Here in Snake vs. Colors, we don't have a story, we don't have emotion, but it's very clear what's the game about. 2 for 2. It's very clear what is the game about, and we did a lot of A/B testing in order to find the right icon, and until we found this one that explaining what the game is about. Also this one, color by number. You can see the gameplay from your icon, and the user can understand what to expect from the app. I think that the icon should be simple and not too complicated. During my job, I get a lot of games from developers around the world, and sometimes I see their icon and it's really messy. It's hard to understand what happened, and sometimes simple work best. It helps to understand what the game is about, so don't try to do it too complicated. Unique. This one was very unique, so it worked really well at the beginning of the app. Expression help to tell the story and make the user relate to your game. And test it. As I said before, keep testing your icon, because it really can drive more and more installs to your game. Next, screenshots. So show some action. Like sometimes it's hard to show action in a static image, but as you can see here, this is runaround game. We created the action in the graphics so people can understand that the stickman is running. So even though it's not a video, users can still see the action. Choose the unique selling point. Choose the most important actions in your app, most important features. Show some skins. Users really like a diversity of skins. And do it in a diverse way. Like it should be a diversity, because if it will be the same image all the time, user will get bored and won't download your game. So diverse it. Use this screenshot. It's a great asset to tell what your game is about and make the user download your game. Show interesting gameplay that helps the user understand what the game is about. Here you can see that the sausage is running. Here in 242 we try to explain the gameplay, and in Snake vs. Colors you can also see the gameplay as well. Video. The video is very important, especially on the App Store, because it plays automatically, and it's the first asset that users see on your page, and users actually decide after 3 seconds if they want to download or not. So use the first 3 seconds of your games to deliver your most important thing in your game, your highlight, the thing that will make the user download your game. Title and keyword. Choose a title that is creative but with keywords. The keywords in the title are the strongest keywords. So here we chose the word run, but we still made it run sausage run. Like we made it creative, and this way users wanted to download the game. So some ASO website will tell you stuff keywords into your title. So in my opinion, it's good to have keywords in the title. It is important, but don't stuff them, because it might make your game look cheap, and then people will think that your game is not too professional. So the challenge is to keep the balance, and this balance is very important. How to choose keywords? Choose creative keywords, choose attractive and trendy keywords, and words that your audience will search. You can use, I'm also using it, you can use the search field and try to search one important keyword. For example, I typed here run, and then I see other keywords that might be related to this word run. And on the search, when you type on the search icon on the App Store, you can also see some trendy words. So use it. It's very helpful. What if you are out of idea? You almost fill your 100 characters in the keywords field, and then you're saying, okay, what else? What can I add? So I'm also using Google to get ideas for keywords. I'm typing, for example, puzzle game, and I'm choosing the images, and I have some keyword suggestions. You can also get some ideas from the search-related field in the Google search results. It really helps to get more ideas. What else? So if you're out of ideas, you can also check the description of your competitors. See what they're typing in their description. See how they describe their app. It will help you get ideas for new keywords. Okay, so we did ASO. We put all of our best in icons, screenshots, videos, keywords. We did the best, but you still feel that everyone are doing their best, right? Everyone are doing some great colors, some great keywords, some great title, And now what? Is it enough to shine? Can you shine only from ASO? So yes, sometimes it is enough, but sometimes you need more. So I want to talk about featured. And featured games, in my opinion, are like a bookstore. The App Store is like a bookstore, which you have tons of games that are hiding on the shelf, but the store helps you and promotes some games in the center of the store. So many users, many people in the store will take what they see first, right? So in my opinion, this is the same as the App Store. And a feature can help you drive lots of installs to your game. And it can help your game be more visible on the App Store. So how can you get it? You need to be special. You need to have something special in your app, or at least to know how to sell it, to detect it and sell it to the stores. It's either can be a great story of how you created your game, or something about your studio and how it is created, and you can see other stories on the Today's tab in the App Store and get inspiration from them. If you have a really high quality app, Apple and Google will be happy to promote it. If it's unique, has great UX, and has the latest feature that Apple or Google just released, you have more chance to get feature. And in order to be featured, it also helps to add localization, because Apple want to spread the word around the world. So they are checking your localization too. So it's important to add it as well. This is examples for a featured option. This is a feature that we got for our Garfield app. Garfield actually celebrated a birthday, and Apple decided to dedicate a story for it. So we got featured on the homepage. When iPhone X was released, Apple did a special feature place for the games on iPhone X. So if you adapted your game to iPhone X earlier, you had a chance to get featured. Apple are doing some themes, and every week they are changing the games that they recommend on. But is it enough? This is a graph from one of our apps that got featured, and the answer is that it's not enough, because you get thousands of downloads for a limited period, and then it stops. The downloads are increasing, and less users find your game. I actually got this feedback also from indie developers that send us their game. They got featured from Apple, they got even a few featured, and then they developed another game that didn't get featured. And then what do? So again, our bookstore. So now I want to talk about publishing. So in publishing, we are helping you to get to the center of the store without being on the back, with our efforts. So what does it mean? What is publishing? So publishing giving you the entire package. You are developing the game, and we are, as a publisher, give you the capital to. We are doing the user acquisition. We are investing the capital in your game, and we are doing user acquisition. We are doing monetization, analysts, localization, support, marketing optimization, rating analysis, game design expert, tech support, and features. So you have a great game. We, as a publisher, take this game and add the package behind it, a package that you many times cannot afford, because all of these things are really expensive. And we offer this package. and more, of course. So it's not a charity. It's a partnership. We are looking for games to publish, and we are looking for partners to develop more and more games together. Not just one-time game, but a few games together. So what are we looking for? I added an example of the latest game that we released. It was developed by Krupel, an indie developer that is actually an IT support in a big bank. And he approached us, and his retention was the retention of his game was more than 50 day 1, 30 day 3, and 20 day 7. His game was ROI positive. In order to publish a game, we are looking for games that can be ROI positive, that can be profitable, because we are partners and we are looking for games that can make revenue. And I asked him, why did you choose to work with TabTale? Why did you choose to work with a publisher? He told me that he liked our communication and our guidance, because we help him with some game level designs, tips, and we communicated with him very well and published it very fast. He reached to the first place in the US, and this is how the game got more 5 million downloads. So the publishing games are ruling the stores today. Here in Q3, we saw that there are 40% of the App Store were hyper-casual and 35% were publishing, but I saw lately that it's even more. And in general, we are looking for hyper-casual games. So hyper-casual games are games that are easy to play and hard to master. They have broad appeal, and they are mainly their monetization is mainly on ads, relying on ads rather than in-apps. But they do have in-apps. If you play Run Sausage Run, you see that we do have in-apps. It doesn't take too long to create them. I spoke with developers that it took them 2 weeks to create an app. Some it took 6 months because they do it after work hours. But it shouldn't take too long to create the games. How do we work? You send us your games. We have a review meeting where we review your game, and if you pass our test, we have a retention test, monetization test. If you pass our test, we are releasing your game worldwide and even taking care of live ops. So sometimes developers are asking me for tips, what to do and how to proceed. So my tip for you is don't give up. Keep trying and trying and trying and create more and more games. Even if one of your games did not get accepted by a publisher, try to create another one and send us till you find your hit. Maybe your game will be next. And thank you for listening to.
Thank you, Keren.
If you have any question or you want to send us your games, send me an email or submit it through our website.
Yeah, for sure. And the first one, you asked to make a photo of you with the audience.
Yes.
Yeah. Would you mind if we will help Keren to just fix this awesome moment when she visited Ukraine? So this is not the coolest phone ever, but I suppose that. Just a moment.
Thank you. So, do you have any questions?
So, any questions from the audience? So, I have an assistant. Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
The question is about the simplest game about snake and colors. As I noticed, there is no backend. It's only client-side game, right? And which framework or some codeless framework you use to build the UI?
Yes, this developer built the game with Buildbox.
Okay.
I actually asked him, what is your development experience? And he told me that he doesn't have any experience. He just built it with a Buildbox, which is very simple. It's just drag and drop software, and it was really easy to create. It didn't need any development.
Do you have games with some backend?
Yes, we do. We have a huge portfolio, so we have lots of genre of games. We have games that currently we are going to release a game with Sony. We are going to release Hotel Transylvania game. We have Ladybug game. We have Tamagotchi's game. So we do have games with servers.
Thank you.
One more question, please. Yeah.
What do you do to get the game noticed on the launch day? So you talked about how to optimize the game when it's already on the App Store, but what should I do if I just launch it, or what do you do as a publisher?
So as a publisher, we invest in user acquisition. Before the launch, we are preparing a user acquisition videos, and on the day of the release, we are promoting it everywhere. We are using ads, and we are nominated your game to be featured. To be honest, featured are depends on Apple's decision. So when we sometimes we get featured, sometimes not. But the most, in my opinion, and it's like the industry standards, the user acquisition is really, really important, and we invest a lot of money in user acquisition.
So that's a major tool, right, to get the game noticed.
That's really important today. Yes, and this is why we are partnering with indie developers, because many times, indie developer doesn't have the capital to invest, right? So we are partnering up with them and invest the capital in user acquisition.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for the speech. Can I have two questions?
Yes.
One about the ASO. First, which screenshots are better, vertical or horizontal, in accordance with the new, for example, Google Play design? And the second one, why does your Run Sausage game doesn't have a video?
So I'll start with the first question. The first one was the horizontal versus vertical. So there are different theories about it. And in my opinion, the best thing is to test it, like to do A/B testing and then understand what is best for your app. Because sometimes you see research that says, oh, horizontal screenshots works better, right? So, but then when you try it on your app, you'll see that it won't. So I feel that you need to try specific things for your app in order to see if it works well. And your question about Run Sausage Run? Yeah, we are doing some tests. If you saw, sometimes we do have videos, sometimes we don't. So we are testing it as well. We are testing it's better with video, without video. So you're saying test.
Thank you for your speech. I have two questions as well. The first question is about soft launch. Oh no, the first question is about screenshot you showed us before. There was some kind of label publishing and games on the list, and I saw some games from Voodoo company, Helix Jump, Rise Up, and etc. and Pug Mobile. So, is it your job? Have you published this game, Helix Jump and Pub Mobile?
No, this is by Voodoo. We publish other games. We publish, for example, 242. You can see the developer here, Eugene, is here. We published this game. We published Snake vs. Colors, and we have more to come that you'll see up 9. We have more games. I can show you later.
Okay, thanks. And the second one is about soft launch.
Yes.
Are you starting from soft launch as a first stage? If so, what countries, for example, you started from your, I don't know, last or previous games? Thanks.
It's a great question. You're right. Soft launch is a critical stage on hyper-casual games and in games in general. It's really important to test your games. We change the countries from time to time, but we can check it in Australia, in Canada, in some other places. I can give you more details later. But soft launch is critical to understand if your game is good to continue and if it has the potential to be ROI positive. So yes, definitely do soft launch. It's very important.
Hello.
Hi.
How often did you change ASO-related stuff for App Store? Because I know you can't just change title, change icon. You have to make a new build. Did you make like an empty build without any changes to release new title or keywords?
So in Google, you can change it on a regular basis. And the title, to be honest, we are not changing the title too much. And I can also send you a research about it. Because, for example, Run Sausage Run, if we change the title right now, it will be hard to find it. So we are not changing the title too much.
But screenshots and others.
So we add it to other content updates, and when we update the app, we are adding the screenshots, the icon. We have a release plan, and we plan this change in advance.
So the main testing platform is Google, not App Store.
We are also changing the games, the assets on App Store, because sometimes Google users prefer different assets than the iOS users. Sometimes on the store you'll see different icon on iOS and different icon on Google. So yes, we use a lot. We use Google Play Console A/B testing a lot, but we also change it on Apple and monitor the change and see how it goes.
Yes, thank you very much for your presentation. I have as well two questions. First of all, cross-promotion. How do you approach it, or do you approach it at all? What do you recommend? And the second one, virality is a huge aspect in hyper-casual games. How do you approach virality if the game is not co-op, not multiplayer, it's just a player who taps the screen or something? How do you deal with virality in this sort of games?
What do you mean by reality?
You tell your friends about your game, you share it in media, you give the player the option to do that. How do you approach that if the game is not multiplayer? If it's just one player sitting in a room and something like that.
Most of the hyper-casual games are just one player. Most of them, you can see Snake vs. Scholars, Run Sausage Run, most of them are one player. And you ask about cross-promotion. So cross-promotion these days are very important. And the fact that we have so many games really help us to do cross-promotion. And we have a lot of hyper-casual games. So yes, we are doing cross-promotion for our girls' games, and cross-promotion, it is important.
Thank you.
Any more questions?
I have two more questions.
Okay.
About the Snake versus Covers, what should be, for example, what should be the starting KPIs for you to like this game or start to think about it, start to promote? Like downloads, retention, something.
Yes.
The second one, you told about the in-app purchases that your game have. What do you prefer, in-app or the subscription model?
Okay, so I'll start with the first question. So when we get a game for publishing, we first have a meeting, we are reviewing the game, and the first thing we are asking ourselves is it even fun? We are checking the quality and the basic gameplay, and if it is fun, we are testing it to see the KPIs, we are checking the retention, we are checking the CPI, eCPI, we're checking how much time did it take to get users, and if everything show that the app has a potential, we will go to worldwide release. And your second question was about in-apps, or subscription. Most of our apps are in-apps. We have a few apps with subscription. For example, we have Rainbow Color by Number. This one is with subscription because it fits to this genre of games. So I think it depends on the genre, but our games, hyper casual, are more relying on ads, but it also has in-apps. So the monetization will be ads and some in-apps. That's the main thing. Thank you very much.